So how did you break your ankle? Or did you break your ankle?
I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it's broken or not. It's sore, but it happened. Towards the beginning of the second round, I had him in a body lock, and as I was driving him backwards, it twisted, and not only did it twist, he landed on top of it, and immediately I felt it, and I was like, damn, I gotta see what I can do with it, and even just putting pressure on it while I was like in side control was very painful.
And you said something to your coaches in between rounds. What did you say, and what did they say?
About what?
Your ankle.
Oh, just told them I might have broke it, and then they're like, well, it doesn't matter, and I was like, it doesn't.
And so have you seen the doctors yet?
I did.
What did they say about it?
It just told me, no jumping jacks, no ice skating. No, they just told me to lay off of it for a little bit, and I'll get it x-rayed next week. It's it's not too bad right now. It's not swelling all crazy, so hopefully it's fine.
What went wrong with the weight cut?
What went wrong is this was my first, no excuses. I should have been a little bit more professional, but this was my first time doing early weigh-ins, and weigh-ins for me used to be an all-day cut type thing. Like, to be honest, my weight was the morning of was where it's at. Sometimes it's been done before many times, but with that early weigh-ins, we couldn't make it an all-day cut like we have before in the past. So a lot of it came down to time. Even though I was, a few pounds over, we did cut to the very, very last minute, and trying to, reach it as close to as we can. But I just need to change some things in my personal life, my dieting a little bit more, working with the nutritionist, and just come into fight week a little bit lighter is the only thing. It's not that I can't make the weight. I just need to make some adjustments.
And you mentioned that this was a tough week for you, a tough kind of stretch for you personally. What did you mean by that?
Me and my, I'm pretty open to say it now. Fit NHB was a great home for me for so long. I love everybody over there. They've been nothing but great for me. But me and my coach, my former coach, have had some, dispute issues. And, him being in my life for so long, having to see him daily this week, was a little stressful on me, and it, put a lot of stress on my mind.
Okay. And what was it like with the new team? I mean, you have an all-star corner there. You have the best in the business. What was that like for you for the first time?
It was great, man. It's a lot of positive vibes in the corner. I really liked that. It was really nice to even crack a joke second round. So, it was nice. I'm really enjoying being at Jackson's.
What was the joke?
I told him this is great. This is the first time in a fight I'm able to see shit.
Oh, what do you mean by that?
I was just able to see everything. I wasn't just going in there recklessly. We worked like, hey, he's going to throw this jab. And it was like, oh, he really did throw the jab, and I know what to do from there. So it was nice, being able to mentally more. I think it was more of a maturity thing, being in the octagon for my sixth time. It was more of a maturity thing to be able to see things and, not everything just being one big blur.
You said that despite the tough weight cut that you're still going to stay at the division and not move up another class. So, is it just a matter, like you said, of nutrition and getting it on point, or do you see any problems in the future?
No, I'm a very truthful person, and not only that, I'm truthful with myself. So what a lot of it is I'm gonna have to stop being a fatty on the off season. I got so used to having such long layoffs that I let myself get too big. So it's like I said, it's not impossible for me to make the weight. I'm a little guy, I'm small, so the weight's actually not hard to make. I just need to make some adjustments in my personal life and make sure I'm not getting up as heavy, and not only that, coming into fight week a little bit lighter.
Where do you think is next for you after a fight and the performance like you had? You had a couple 30-26s, pretty dominant performance.
We'll see. I want to keep climbing the ladders. That's what I told everybody from the beginning. I'm in no hurry to fight DJ. I do want to fight that guy. He better keep the belt, by the time I get to him, which I imagine he's going to. But I'm in no hurry. If I got to take these guys out one by one, whether it's, going from 12 to 11 to 10, one by one, I'm only growing. I'm only 23 years old. I'm in no rush. So, just another good contender is what's next for me.
You had to give up 30% of your purse, not the traditional 20%, because it was, 3.5 pounds and you're a flyweight. Were you A, surprised that it was 30, and B, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like that's justified?
It definitely sucked. 30% is not easy when it comes out of your purse, but to be honest, it was more important to me than not fighting. So, whether they had to take 30% or not, regardless of the amount, it was more important for me to fight and get this win. I mean, although this is how I make my living, this is how I feed my family, I'd still have to, at the end of the day, go in there, fight, and win, especially with the shaky year I've had this year. It was very important that I just go in there and fight. Money, I truly believe money is going to come more and more down the road.
Do
did you have to, after you missed weight, did you talk to Lewis before to make sure he was good with it, or was it just a matter of getting the percentage right? Did you actually talk with him and maybe?
I didn't talk with him. I let my manager do that. Ollie, he's a great guy, great manager. I let him do that, make sure everything was squared away. I did go up to Lewis in his camp and apologized. I'm very sad. I'm very happy to get this win over a tough guy, but part of it's not even enjoyable because they didn't make the weight. So I just made sure I apologized to Lewis and his camp, and I thanked them for taking the fight.
One thing I've always wanted to ask, especially the second half of this year, is with these early weigh-ins and then they do the ceremonial weigh-in. What's it like? You're obviously very disappointed that you missed weight, and then you have to come back and do the whole charade again. It's almost like this public shaming where now you have Joe Rogan yelling it out in front of all these people instead of just doing it once like in the old days. And you're waiting for like 6 hours for this thing to happen. Is that tough mentally? Is that almost embarrassing?
That was my first time experiencing it, and I think what made it a little bit worse is it wasn't like Ray Borg, weighs in 129 and a half. That would have been like, for the average friend, they're like, oh, okay, he missed weight by a pound, or, maybe that's the weight class. But it's when he's like 129 and a half, Ray Borg missed weight. That was a little bit like, oh, damn, no, you got to put me on blast like that in front of millions of people. But it was good for me. It honestly was. It makes me, if I don't want to be embarrassed, then I need to make sure I don't embarrass myself.